More than 800 dolphins, now more than 500 pelicans are washing up dead on the coast of Peru from Punta Negra to San Jose. It's a mystery as to why. Marine conservationist Hardy Jones recently visited this area in Peru, and he is the executive director of Blue Voice, an ocean conservation organization that protects whales and dolphins. I spoke earlier with Hardy Jones about the situation.
The pelican number is now up to 1,200. That's my latest report from Peru. And there are a variety of reasons why these mass mortality events take place. None has been defined for this particular event. But the important thing to know, to get the context of this, is that while this event in Peru is absolutely catastrophic, and for someone like myself who loves dolphins, it's heartbreaking, it is not unique. There are so-called mass mortality events that are taking place right now in the Gulf of Mexico and the United States waters. There have been 6,000 striped dolphins that died in Spain on 2 occasions in the early 2000s. There are dolphins dying off of Cape Cod right now. And I could give you a longer list than that, but the point is that these mass mortality events are increasing both in frequency and in virulence.
And so there can be a variation of reasons as to why. One of the first instincts that some conservationists have, that there may be some sort of acoustic trauma that's causing the dolphins or even many whales to wash up on shore. But since pelicans don't spend their heads in the water as long as, say, dolphins do, that kind of rules out that acoustic trauma for pelicans, doesn't it?
Well, it does for the pelicans, yes. And one thing we ought to be clear about is that the pelican mortality and the dolphin mortality, while they are probably linked, could be totally disconnected, could be totally different causes for them. Now, the El Nino, or actually a La Nina that had prevailed for about 18 months, started to wind down in January and February and was declared over in April. So that means that there's been a tremendous change going on in the water temperatures off Peru, which can redistribute prey, and that might particularly have an effect on the pelicans. Some of the fishermen were saying that the pelicans just weren't getting anything to eat.
But that's a huge number. If you talk about the 1,200 pelicans, do you think it's something much more, ominous than that, or do you believe it really could relate to some sort of contaminants in the water or in the food source of these pelicans?
Well, red tides are not uncommon in areas of water that are upwelling, such as this area off Peru. Red tides are generated by warmer waters that may be a result of global warming. They also are enhanced by fertilizer and pesticide runoff. So they then have an algal bloom, sometimes called a red tide, and they produce brevetoxin, a neurotoxin, which is very deadly. And that is something that could kill both species.
Jones says a national study may be needed to find out what is causing this massive die-off.